We can suck up corporate greed.
Ooh, okay.
Talking about Unity.
Yeah.
Moving from like the monopoly that service providers have.
Right? Okay, perfect segue.
Yeah.
Nailed
Yep.
it. All right,
Yep.
let's
To
switch over to
Unity
this.
and the shit that they're trying to pull.
There's so much. Sorry, guys. Like, the article's literally here in the middle. There's so much shit on the sides.
Yeah.
Anyways.
If you've been around the internet a little bit this week, you might have already heard this story. And they might have pivoted some of it. I know they doubled down. But I know, well, let's dive into it.
Yeah, this was on, what is today? Sunday. So this was updated, I'm assuming, Friday afternoon. So I don't know if this is the latest or if anything else has like happened during the weekend. But Unity is, for all intents and purposes, an engine in which mobile games, indie companies can utilize to essentially build their games off of, is kind of my understanding. And so big names like Pokemon Go or Call of Duty use this. Or I guess it kind of alludes to that it could be used by this. And then other things like the Cult of the Lamb. And it kind of lists like recent things like Sea of Stars. I know that's been a bigger game recently.
Nice.
Are also built in Unity. So from that perspective, it sounds like for indie game developers, it's like up to this point, it's been cost friendly for them and gives them what they need in terms of like making a quality game.
Yeah. So like the software that game developers use to make their games, Unity is one of them. Unreal Engine's another popular one.
Yep.
I think those are like kind of the premier two is Unreal Engine and Unity. Unity is definitely more budget friendly.
So what they've introduced is what they're calling a runtime fee, and it's charged each time the qualifying game that's made through Unity is downloaded by an end user. And it kind of discusses a little further down the threshold in which meeting this runtime fee takes effect. So it's right around here. So users of the free personal package would become eligible for the fee if a single project were to pass 200K in 12-month revenue and 200K lifetime installments.
Jesus.
So like if you have a game that pops off in the first couple months, like you're gonna hit that no problem. They go on to say after that point, Unity would charge a developer a flat fee of 20 cents per install. These figures could be detected by Unity Runtime, which is a separate program that essentially just has like an audit log, I'm assuming, on how many times the game gets installed and whatnot. So like, to me, that sounds like a big issue just because 200K for an indie company, you might be getting your money back at that point. Maybe not, depending on how like long the project was and everything before you even get it to where it's available to users. But like you're starting to eat into their profit or potential profit.
Massively.
Yeah.
Especially just like for installs, because does it count multiple installs? Like if I uninstall and reinstall a game, and I do that like several times, like 5 times, does it count as 5 installs just from me?
I would think it wouldn't. I could be, I don't know for sure, but
Apple just said my
it's
very question.
also if someone deletes the game. Yeah, okay. They'll be they get charged twice.
Yeah. So they're looking at just installs, regardless of like
if you purchase
purchases.
it.
Yeah, they're looking at purchases, looking at installs.
Thank you for the daily hug, Apple. Welcome in.
Just a greedier metric to look at that.
Yeah. And like, I know Cult of the Lamb has a comment. Oh, they have a video actually.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I think it's just a cute little thing. The frog is like freaking out, but God, that's red. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Okay, for those who don't know, Cult of the Lamb is made in Unity. So this is how I found out about it, was Cult of the Lamb. I feel like they were one of the first ones that posted this issue earlier in the week. And I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good. And the other thing about this is you can't just like unplug from Unity and plug it in elsewhere.
Right. Yeah. Because
Yeah. So, Unity is introducing a runtime fee that's based on game installs. Our team specializes in Unity games. So, what's the impact on us? Well, we have future projects in the pipeline that were initially planned to be developed in Unity. This change would result in significant delays since our team would need to acquire an entirely new skill set. At Massive Monster, our mission has been to support and promote new and emerging indie games. The introduction of these fees by Unity could pose significant challenges for aspiring developers. Quit being stinky, Unity. Oh, Apple chimed in. And think about the ramifications of people getting together and spam installing, uninstalling a game instead of downvoting it on Steam or other places. Yeah, that's a whole other like malicious tactic for people that are just pissed at the game, like the game isn't what they expected, or they have some kind of grudge against that company.
This game uses Unity, and this game has pronouns. I don't, people, that kind of crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, people can be malicious.
Yeah.
Oh God. I had two other game developers statements. I put it in the thing.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
I also why do you do that? I know the guy that made Crab Game. He was crunching his numbers, and he was like, "Well, is Crab Game free?"
Crab Champions?
No.
Oh, okay, it's a different one.
The Squid Game.
Oh, yeah.
There's the knockoff of Crab Game. Oh, cool.
He said $20.
It's $20 just free on Steam.
Oh. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, it's free.
Okay.
But since it's by download, right? He was crushing the numbers.
Crab Champions. Okay. It's 20 for Crab Champions, not Squid. Yeah, there you go.
So Crab Game is free. Dude was crunching the numbers. He was like, "Well, if this effect goes through, I guess I owe like $5 million to Unity for my free game."
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Darkest Dungeon. Ooh, yeah. They're coming out with the second one here soon, or it's out already.
Second one's already out.
Yeah. Okay. It was over the summer, I guess. I think. Anyways, okay. So here's a statement. Let me zoom in a little bit. I think it's a little tiny for you guys. There we go. Minimize Discord. There we go. Okay. We at Red Hook know something about madness. Much like Darkest Dungeon, game developer is a dynamic and challenging effort where tough choices must be made using imperfect information. I mean, I deal with that on a daily basis, so yeah. Making or releasing a game is an uncertain endeavor. Yeah, you have no idea if it's gonna be successful or not. It could be a total flop.
Yep.
But that uncertainty should lie in the marketplace, not with fundamental business terms around which a project was built. We believe Unity has made a grave misstep in introducing a poorly thought out fee mechanic and then compounded that threefold by making it apply to games that have already been released. Oh, so they're even like backdating it.
Yes.
Fuck, okay.
No one's getting grandfathered in through this policy.
Oof. We are sympathetic to the idea that companies must sometimes change how they operate, but these changes should be carefully planned, communicated, and enacted in such a way that partners may choose whether they wish to accept these new rules for their next projects. We built Darkest Dungeon 2 using Unity, and a large part of our decision to do so was the relative cost certainty around the license and subscription model. We've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on licenses and far more than that in engaging Unity to help us with parts of development. It is hard for us to imagine building another game with Unity unless we know we are protected from the possibility of massive changes to how we pay for that technology being introduced at the whims of executive management. Part of game development is knowing when a mechanic is not working and then having the courage to swallow your ego and undo your mistake. We call on Unity to recant their blunder.
Yeah. Like damn, that's good on them. That's very well put.
Yeah.
Really, and calling them out. So yeah, This policy change would be retroactive for everybody. That's why, like, the crab game guy was like, yeah, he would owe millions of dollars to Unity for his free game.
There we go. Wow. Jeez. Okay. And then this other one, it's a little bit shorter. The Mega Crit team has been hard at work these past 2 years on a new game, but unlike with Slay the Spire, the engine we have been developing it in is Unity. The retroactive pricing structure of runtime fees is not only harmful in a myriad of ways to developers, especially indies, it is also a violation of trust. We believe Unity is fully aware of this, seeing as they have gone so far as to remove their TOS from GitHub. Ooh! Despite the immense amount of time and effort our team has already poured into development on our new title, we will be migrating to a new engine unless the changes are completely reverted and TOS protections are put in place. We have never made a public statement before. That is how badly you fucked up. That says something too. Like, we just chilling and you went and stirred the pot, so there you go.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of the narrative too around that I've heard is like, so basically, Unity making this change is very sudden.
Mm-hmm.
My rough understanding is that they have kind of a newer executive working at Unity, and the executive came from EA, and EA is pretty notoriously horrible for microtransactions and just gutting a lot of content from the game and then selling it to you piecemeal and all these kinds of things. So them moving over and then seeing this change tracks.
Yeah.
Base of where the executive came from. Yeah, it's outrageous.
It looks like Unity, so it looks like they've accounted for like them going back on some of their stuff. So here it says Unity later issued an FAQ that attempted to clarify the changes, such as stating that only full games' initial installations are subject to the runtime fee. Developers can also enter into deals with Unity that would diminish or eliminate the fee.
Oh, wow.
Such as using Unity's level play service. So again, it's you got to pay to play. It's a matter of like how you're going to play and how much you're willing to pay. It also denied that the licensing change would be applied retroactively to games released before 2024.
So what does that mean?
So that means it's not going to they're not going to go after like Darkest Dungeons, Cult of the Land, anything that was released prior, anything from this year.
But these developers that have games in development, I see what they're saying, right? Because like, Slay the Spire is like, we've been working on a game for like over 2 years.
Yeah.
And if we release it post this change, now we're subject to it.
Yeah. Unity employees knew it was a bad idea and sold their stocks in the company. Oof.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Unity's attempts at damage control continued for most of the week, but the changes being offered at all have widely been seen as a breaking point for Unity's user base. I don't even think like in the article they probably haven't even given like reasons for this.
Oh yeah, I don't corporate greed. They want money.
Yeah.
I did see like
yeah, so here's what you guys were talking about earlier, but yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I did see a damage control post by Unity sometime during the week where they were like, guys, don't worry, this change will only affect this change won't affect 90% of the developers that use Unity. It's only going to affect like 10% of y'all. It's like, don't worry about it. It doesn't harm most of you guys. Don't worry about it.
It's a you. It's the
Yep.
fact that you're harming any of us. Like,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
Because, like, could you imagine being on a project that has taken you potentially, like, your career to make, and you're on the cusp of releasing it, let's say in the next, like, year or two, maybe. Like, you're rounding the corner on, okay, we're getting close to a beta or whatever, and this shit falls on your lap? Like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Ultra. Yeah,
Hello,
so many people have said, even if they revert the change, like the level of trust that this is broken.
Yeah. Oh. So I skipped ahead, but it looks like this is like it does progress through like what they've done through the week. So early on, in fact, like this part talks about Unity's terms is written a user who installs, removes, and reinstalls a full Unity game that has had reached the threshold for the runtime fee would result in the gamer's original developer being charged twice. So there's that. Theoretically, a bad actor could set up a server farm. This goes back to Apple's point. They could set up a server farm to automate that action, which could force a studio into bankruptcy by running up its Unity tab.
Yeah.
So then they like retracted that and said it's only on the initial, which at least it eliminates that farming issue. But still it's still no bueno.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I've seen developers that have been like, we're done. We're done with Unity. We're just gonna have to switch to a new engine and software, and it will take a lot longer. But we're just like, even if it's reverted, the trust is gone, and we're just not, playing ball with it anymore. And then I've seen developers that are like, we really hope that they revert these changes because we're in a position where we cannot switch.
Yeah.
We are either A, at a stage in development, or B, just...
There's no turning back, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, the other thing, you want your game... Like, yeah, it could be a passion project, things like that, but I think one of your big goals is if it's successful, and whatever that metric is you're using to say, yep, it was successful for me, like, that in mind goes... I guess like flushing it out a little bit more, but goes kind of against what this next comment says. And it goes back to, well, we'd only be going after the 10% of all the developers. Because they say here, the developers who will be impacted are generally those who have successful games and are generating revenue way above the thresholds we outlined in our blog. It's like, but isn't that the goal, to have successful games? So if I'm building it with like the mindset of, this is going to be a fun game, it's successful because people, like, I found users that enjoy the game, like, I have to now think about dealing with this bullshit on the other side of releasing my game. Yeah. Anyways.
I have a kind of a conspiracy theory kind of thought.
Okay.
So, again, Unity is very, like, indie friendly. Because of budget. One thing that I hear pretty often, that I'll see like posted around every now and then from indie developers, is that AAA company. So when an indie developer has a game that's like massively successful, and the game doesn't cost $60, AAA developers don't like that, like a lot. I know the guy that made Undertale has been like harassed by AAA studios to make his game $60 because they want the default cost of a game to be $60.
It's wild. Okay.
And he's like, no, and you can't tell me what to charge my product for. Like, I don't work for you, right? Like, I'm fucking indie. Like, it's the whole fucking point. Like,
yeah, it's a I guess that's technically it being an open market. Like you charge what you think your product's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that hurts, popular games because like Undertale's $10.
I thought it was
Some of
20
them.
for some reason. Okay.
No,
Regardless,
Under-
it is cheap. It is a sixth of the price of a AAA game.
Yeah. And then, so basically if people can get good games that aren't $60, then
Yeah.
people question like, why am I paying $60 for a game? So it definitely hurts profit margin, particularly hurts profit margins for these big studios.
Mhm.
If this change is actually able to go through, I feel like a logical conclusion is that a lot of indie developers will have to raise the price of their games.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense. They would have to absorb the costs somewhere, and like the next thing would be putting it back to the consumer.
Yeah.
So,
And
here's Red Hook.
And if this, change, if this idea really came from, a migrated EA executive.
Oh, they came from EA?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's been
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
like the talk around things is that an executive from EA left, joined Unity, and this has been their idea. Which tracks for how EA does shit. But,
Well, yeah, and what they're about to do to The Sims.
Oh, what are they going to do to The Sims?
So apparently, I don't know if it's confirmed or if it's still rumor milled. I think they confirmed it, but Sims 5. So with The Sims, they started doing all the expansion packs, the I forget the names of them, but you have the expansions, then you have the stuff pack. So you can get a bunch of like in-game props and things like that, versus like the expansions are you get to unlock like werewolves or vampires or new like worlds in The Sims. And so like it's a money grab in that situation because you had The Sims 4, which a lot of times if you just wait for the right sale it's free. Then you can like the money comes from all these other like microtransactions more or less. So what they're moving to with The Sims 5 is The Sims 5 will be free, but everything's microtransactions. So anything you want to purchase in like everything's purchased in game. If you want particular like skins or characters or it's yeah. So they're moving that towards that model, which is unfortunate, but
yeah, that sounds like EA.
Yep.
They carve out in piecemeal and microtransaction the shit out of a game.
Yep. So they are now doing that to The Sims.
That's really shitty.
Yep.
Really shitty, and everyone hates it except for shareholders.
Exactly. And so it's one of those like, how long? Because I mean, The Sims 4, they're still releasing stuff for it. Because I don't think there's an official date for Sims 5 yet. I think they've been showing like mock-ups and things like that for it, but I think in the Sims community blogs that I have on Twitter, there was a lot of noise going on this week around like a new expansion for Sims 4 and then a couple of new like packs. It's game packs. That's what it is. And I mean, it's only like when you think about it, it's only like $5 for these like little game packs, or if you catch it on a sale, it's only a couple bucks. And like I don't know, that to me, I'm more okay with that kind of model. And if you look like at DBD, it's kind of similar. Like you can buy these chapters, right? Which is fine, but like you don't need them at the end of the day. It's like, how much do you want them? Are you willing to wait for a sale or someone gifts it to you, whatever? But I don't know. I don't know what it is that like you turn it into microtransactions like you would have. I think you have them for like Fortnite, right? Fortnite's like a good example of that, right? It's free, but like you buy everything. Okay. I don't know why it's icky. It's icky, and I can't put my like finger on why.
It is, and like they know that like that's a more people are more susceptible to spending money that way, right? Like you can have a free game that's been $300 on it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the base game was free.
Versus you can spend $40 and that's the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
So from a business model, it's more lucrative to microtransaction and piecemeal and cut up everything.
Yeah. And like on that. Oh, sorry.
In the gaming scene, people are more okay if like most of the microtransactions are cosmetic because they're like, you know, if it's pay to win, people have a real big issue real quick.
Yeah. The gotcha games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, random thought I had whenever you said the whole $40 thing. Wasn't Baldur's Gate one of those that they were like, no, we're not going to do any DLC. Like, the gamers are going to get the game in full. We're not going to do any of this crap on the side. Wasn't it Baldur's Gate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been great because I don't know how long that game's been in development, but they're like, here you go, it's the whole ass game. Like, it's all of it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of like, again, a lot of AAA studios are like, don't expect that from our games moving forward. Like Baldur's Gate is a wild example. It's like, you know, people shouldn't expect that from big studios. They should expect like the status quo of like DLC and piecemeal stuff and all this kind of. Because I know like Starfield and Baldur's Gate came out pretty close together.
Yeah. Like a month apart, I think.
Yeah, and I can price check this.
Baldur's Gate was 60.
So Baldur's Gate's 60.
I think it was, and I might have this wrong. I think on PlayStation Store it was 70.
Yeah, Starfield's 70.
Yeah.
And there's $100 version if you want.
Yeah.
But Baldur's Gate works and Starfield doesn't.
Yeah. And it kind of like, I think a little bit of it goes back to a previous discussion we had that kind of resonates. Is like, you have a story to tell, you go through and you tell that story and that's the end of it. Versus like with one thing I'm looking forward to with Cyberpunk, they have a DLC coming out in like 9 days. I'm excited for that. There's a lot that the universe can offer in various different ways of like, oh, you like Edgerunners. It was a whole different story setup, a different introduction to a type of like character you could play. They put that in as like a part of the upgrade with Cyberpunk. So like you don't have to pay to play that character. It just came with it as like as a yay thing for like when Edgerunners was released. Now it's like, okay, we're doing this DLC, but they've already said this is the only DLC we're doing. And then I know Hogwarts Legacy comes with its own stuff, but the game itself, like it tells a story, and now there's discussion of they're just making a second game. They're not doing they had no intentions around like DLC or anything like that, expansions, whatever. They told their story, but now it's like, oh, we have another new story to tell. So it's like, okay, it's a new game. It's still in the same universe, but like it's still a story that they're telling that's packaged to this like next game, if you will, not like DLC or anything like that. Sometimes it's cool to do it, but like other times it's like, just tell me, like, give me the story and I'm done with it, you know? Yeah. Oh, we lost Barkus again. Let me catch up on chat real quick. The Bark Mullow. Oh, you're back.
Cool, sweet. Am I?
Your marshmallow's not back, but I hear you.
Yeah.
There you are. Okay. I was just catching up on chat real quick. But go ahead. I know you had a thought.
Let me fix Marshmallow.
He's okay. He's not moving, but he's visible.
There we wait.
There you go. We back.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it.
Yay.
Oh yeah. Apple said, and then you have Destiny that releases DLC at the price. Ooh, of a whole new game. That sucks. That sucks. So
Oof.
in like this day and age, I feel like the discussion between DLC and like sequels, I feel like there's room for both. Kind of like you're saying, it like depends.
Mhm.
So I think from just a developer standpoint, if you have a situation where like we're gonna make a game, we're gonna see how it goes, you know, right? Like we'll see how it's received,
Mhm.
and then we can make future plans based on that reception.
Mhm.
And I'll use Elden Ring as an example,
Okay.
which people were already like massively hyped for. And
Yeah.
it was very well received, and everyone kind of, you know,
It landed nicely. Like the hype was there,
Yeah.
and the landing of it was good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Super met the hype, which is great.
Yep.
But then afterward, like people played it, people beat it, and then they were done. And like, cool, we've the community, the player base, like we've consumed the content, and we want more,
Mhm.
and we don't want to wait for another like full development cycle. We kind of just really want more.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, you know, the developers like, cool, well, we can add deal because didn't they? I know they added features, right? They added some stuff. They added like a boss randomizer. I think they added like a PvP arena. They added a few things, and I know there was some DLC that was out for Elden Ring. I don't know if it was paid or not.
Yeah, I feel like I saw an announcement. Like I never played Elden Ring. D played it. I enjoyed like watching how difficult it was because I mean it's Souls like, so not my cup of tea, but I like watching others rage for it. And I he would know. He would probably know. But I feel like either they announced something new is coming or it's already out, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and the time I would have taken them to add those features comparatively to making like Elden Ring 2 is massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
The same thing with like Skyrim. People love Skyrim, and they wanted more Skyrim, but they didn't want to wait for another Skyrim to be made. And good on them because another Skyrim is not it's not going to be made. It seems, but they have. I think there's like 2 or 3 like additional DLC patches where it adds like new land and quests and stories and all that kind of stuff for Skyrim, and it's like, so I feel like in that capacity, and it's all the price of like a whole new game. So I feel like in that capacity, DLC is fine if it's like a situation where the game was well received and the community wants more, but they don't want to wait for another full game, and the developer can like. It seems that's a nice middle ground. And then also to what you were saying, with other games, we're like, here's a story. We've told the story. If you want another one, we're gonna have to make another. Like we'll have to make like 2.
Yeah,
you know,
like The Witcher, I think is another example.
Yep.
But the other thing with Elden Ring, I do enjoy seeing that community because, like you said, they've just gobbled up that story. Like they love that game, but the way in which they get creative on how they beat the bosses. I don't know if you've seen it. So like, I think this was last year, but there was a gal that beat the game using a DDR pad.
Nice.
Yeah, amazing. But the fact that like people are getting creative on how they're beating the bosses is great. Like once they've consumed the content, okay, now I want to figure out a different way of beating it, or your speed runs, things like that. But like there was another one recently where it was some guy's goldfish.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find this because I swear it was on my Twitter.
Yeah, the Souls-like community is a tenacious bunch.
Yeah, but I enjoy coming across those kind of videos of like beating bosses in the most random ass ways, you know?
Yeah.
It's not the traditional controller. She beat it twice at the same time, DDR pad and controller. I did not see that. Wow. I just knew she like I forgot how many hours it took her on the DDR pad to actually like beat it, but she like collapsed basically after she
I've seen folks beat like Dark Souls bosses with bananas.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep. Let me see if I can find that.
I'm looking for the video for the
But
goldfish.
examples of bad DLC. I think I've seen some pretty good bad examples in like Batman games where I know there was one where it's like, oh, you can there's like a chapter and you can play as Harley Quinn, but only if you pre-order the game. So like before the game's even out, they have like carved out parts of the game and then like relegated to pay gates. Like that's really shitty. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's the bad kind of DLC.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is where you're chopping up an already made finished game and you're just chopping it up for pay gates and extra cash.
Yeah, because I mean, even I don't. I'd say with like full price games, unless I'm just like frothing at the bit for it, and which really doesn't happen often in games, like I'm waiting for a sale. Like I already made that mistake with Cyberpunk, pre-ordered it, and dealt with that like disappointment for a good like 6 months after the fact. And so like DLC seems a little more comfortable doing so. Early reviews, things like that. It's not a full price game. It's still $40, but it's one of those, okay, I have it saved off, it's over here, but I don't think I'm buying full price games very often. In the sense of like AAA titles, I'm willing to spend $60 to $70 on this kind of thing.
Yeah. For me, it really has to depend on the game.
Yeah, because like I want to play Texas Chainsaw, but I don't want to pay $40 for it.
Fair. So one full price game that I want and will be buying is gonna be that Dragon Quest game.
Right. Is that one $60?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like, there's definitely, and even Baldur's Gate. Like, I want to play it, but I don't really have time to dedicate to it right now. And with that, it's kind of like, okay, I may as well just wait for a sale. But yeah,
true.
You know, I'm fine if like the hype goes away because I don't think I could stream that. Yeah, no, I think that would be, and I don't know, like, I guess this is segueing into a different topic, but, you know, Marcus, do you have games where it's just like, I'm saving this as my off-stream kind of game versus, no, I really want to stream this game type of titles? Like, you have kind of like your split list of things that you're looking forward to, but generally, like, you're either like, yep, this is a stream game. Nope, this is going to be my cozy, comfy game. Not really. I mean, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 and it's my cozy comfy game, not in the sense of like it meets that genre, but like I can relax and play this game and not have to manage anything else with it, you know.
Absolutely. Okay. And I think one of the biggest metrics of that is like, how am I when I stream this game? And a really easy example for me would be Hades. When I've done a few streams streaming Hades, and I get very quiet and focused because it's a game that just like calls upon like a lot of my focus and attention, and then I'm just like super quiet, and so it's just me like quietly playing the game, and I can't like get into a spot where I'm really chatty. I can't really divert attention to the chats that might pop up. So Hades is a game that's like really bad for me to stream because it's just not a fun viewing experience, I feel.
Yeah.
So I feel like for that on that metric, you know, Hades would be one. Honestly, Raft is another one. I tried it a few times, but there's a lot of times where I just get like so into the process of like gathering resources and then organizing them. I'm just like, I'm just squirreling them away. I'm just like quietly just like wanting everything just to be organized and neat. I get like really quiet. And there's like a lot of other chatter going on during that game of like the other people on the raft. And that's not like partial to the stream, and so it just adds certain layers for like that raft turned out to be like a great stream game for me. I still super enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. And chat, question for you guys as well. Like, do you, if you're a streamer, of course, do you kind of have those games that you like to play and keep to yourself almost? Like, no, I want to, I'm good experiencing this on my own kind of thing versus no, I want to stream this and like interact with people while I'm playing through this. I know Apple kind of chimed in. I was that way when I started because I did art, but either got really focused on the art and didn't talk, or talk to people and didn't draw. That's interesting because some artists, streaming artists, I know they kind of like try to find the balance of, okay, what are things that I can draw or I'm comfortable drawing style wise that I can still progress and feel fulfilled in that stream, as well as like being able to interact with chat. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because streaming will certainly like split focus.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to. I think that's something you have to learn and find out. And I think there's like Dead by Daylight's a little bit of a double-edged sword in that same topic,
yes.
right?
Yeah. Like if you know the way we play it, if we're kind of cycling out, people can talk with chat, things like that. But otherwise, like if you're trying to watch skill checks or you're running away from the killer, it's kind of hard to like look over at chat. Or, you know, on the flip side, if you're just chilling on a hook, it's like, okay, chat, I got a couple of seconds here.
Yeah.
So,
but even more so if you're a killer.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're a killer, you're all gas.
Yep.
You're gas. Because if you're a survivor and you kind of like piddle fart and like spend 30 seconds to a minute maybe chilling in a locker or doing something like unproductive to a degree, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
If you're a killer and you take like a 2-minute break from the match,
it's over.
Yeah.
It's
so
done.
Yeah, and when I stream DVD, I usually stream as killer. So like when a raid comes in or something like that, I'll be like, "Hi, raiders," and I've kind of had to learn and adjust and adapt to doing that.
Yeah,
and it'll be more like, you know, "Hi, raiders," like welcome in, watch me kill this guy, and like kind of immediately like spew things, and then after the match, then you can do more of a, you know, attentive time to stream raids and things like that.
Yeah.
But, I think in the same vein of this discussion, like a game, so like again, streaming will split your focus.
Yep.
And some things you can like, this will split my focus, but I do want to stream it, so I need to adapt and kind of change things. Or this was my focus to such a degree that like it just tanks the experience and it's kind of not worth streaming.
Yeah.
That's like one facet. Another facet that kind of what you were speaking to, where I just want to just chill and kind of veg and play a game and like not have, and like just be me in the game.
Yeah.
And have that experience. I feel like in that vein of things, one game that I would want it to be just me in the game would be like Baldur's Gate. So if I did get Baldur's Gate, I would probably just do it on my own.
Yeah. Plus it's pretty lengthy too.
Yeah. On the flip side, a game that I don't want to be just me in the game, but I do want to stream and I do want to share and I do want to show is Dragon Quest. Is very much because I've read the manga, I've read the story, like, and I love the story. Like that's the manga series that got me into the franchise. Like I would love to be able to share that and show that with other people and be like, yo, look at the story, look at these characters. This is a crazy fun time and I love it and I want to share that.
Yeah, and it's a matter of like, I think when you have that element of like passion behind the project or the game that you're playing, you have a lot more to bring to the table that's not just playing the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like another game in general that would probably be better streamed than played solo would be like Little Misfortune.
Yeah. Oh my god. I think because of what happens in that game, it's entertaining to like experience that with with others.
Yep. Super agree.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking back to like the couple of clips that came out of that. Yeah. Wild times. But I don't think I have the goldfish pulled up if we want to look. It's short. It's like 30 seconds. It's really not that long. But yeah.
I did a final thought.
Okay.
In that whole discussion of
Unity.
we're talking about Unity and development cycles for video games and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of that more meta niche of like, when is it, what's the balance to strike of post DLC, like after, like well afterward, of like, do you just release, like in the Skyrim style or the Elder Scrolls style, of like more maps and lore or features and things like that.
Yeah.
So, when's it right to do DLC versus when should you just be like, okay, cool, we're going to make an Elden Ring 2,
Mm-hmm.
One general metric, and it's so dependent upon so many factors, but a general wide sweeping metric is the development cycle for a video game,
mm-hmm.
like a PC or console video game. I believe it's like 2 to 4 years. It takes 2 to 4 years in a broad stroke term to make a console PC game. To make a mobile game, it's about 4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's really short.
And again, that's large brushstroke.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Some games take 15 years to make.
Well, like, I think that speaks to the fact that like mobile, you're pretty limited. Granted, I mean, iPhone 15 is about to come out, and you can play a handful of AAA titles here soon. Not saying those are native mobile in the sense of like it was only built for mobile and that's it. But yeah, I think you have more guardrails in place on mobile still compared to PC, or PC or console.
Yeah. So I could super understand the developer being like, cool, people finished the game, they enjoyed it, like the content, it was a hit, they want more. We could make a little DLC pack that maybe takes 8 months to do. Or we can say, hey guys, give us 4 years. We'll release, number 4. And hopefully things are still like going to hit well.
Yeah. Because like with DLC, you're still ideally riding the hype train of some sort to the brand or like that title, as opposed to like you better be pretty big to still be relevant 4 years from now.
Yep. And some things are. Some things, especially, I mean, that's why we see so many, I mean, regular Resident Evil, they're just remaking their games, but they're doing it, I mean, it's night and day differences. They're making like PS1, PS2 games for like, now it's like the RE4 remake is really good.
Yeah.
So.
You haven't played that one yet, right?
I have not.
Okay.
I played Village, and I played Biohazard. I played 8, and I played 7.
And then you played the DLCs to those, right? One of them.
Most of them.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your goldfish thing?
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me switch over. Okay.
Oh, no. Whirly, I need you to heal.
So see this little goldfish.
What? Oh.
That was huge. Okay, this could be it.
Oh.
Good damage. Good start. Good, huge damage, actually. Good heal. Oh my god, goated heal, actually. He's almost dead. One more hit. He's staggered. One more hit, Tortellini. One more hit.
He's just streaking. I love that. That's the most like dice roll. It's a funny dice roll. That's what that is.
It is. It's so funny.
That's funny. I do love that though. That's great.
Yeah. So I think that was. Yeah, it was this past week. Wild. Anyways. I love the creativity And that's a good example of it. The creativity when it comes to, okay, yeah, people have beat this game, I've beat this game. How can I take this to the next level kind of
My
thing?
goldfish beat that boss.
Yeah, like, your boss got
Oh.
beat by a goldfish.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I remember I think it might have been FF. What's the newest one? Is it 16? Right?
16, yeah.
They were doing like their media circuit for it.
Mhm.
And they had one of the developers from like the Souls games like try to do a boss. So they had like one of the game designers try the boss and like showcase and like, oh, here's how like some of these mechanics work, yada yada yada.
Mhm.
And then this like gave the boss fight to like somebody from who makes Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
They demolished it. They destroyed that boss. They absolutely were that boss a new asshole. They just embarrassed that boss. And he's like, that's fun. He was like, enjoyable thing.
I feel like Souls-like developers are probably built different
Yeah.
to some extent. They're built different.
I wonder if I can find it. What do you have? Whatever you got for us.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold up for that?
No.
Oh wait, what?
I found it. How did I find it? I find it so well. Dev
Oh,
destroys.
okay.
Oh, maybe it was just the dev.
Oh, pause that. No, stop. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Did you find
this
it?
This might be it.
Okay.
I think this next one's just. Yeah, this next one's just Asmongold talking about it. Cool.
Most replayed part, I think, is right here is my guess. Oh, there's two most replayed parts. Okay, we'll see if this works.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
Speaking now, so
I'm really curious to see the differences in playstyles. Like I was going for an all-out crazy damage, and I'm already seeing some nice defensive stuff.
とても気になるんですけれども、私は日々
The parries.
ここでその選択とかスキルの選び方
I'm shit at parrying or dodging, and I've gotten pretty decent at it in this game.
Nice. Yeah. It can be. It's crazy. It was always different from game to game, like the window for parry.
So he's going to have a lot of attacks with counters.
We'll watch this one part, and then I'm gonna skip ahead. There's one more replayed part.
I believe Titan has many physical counters, which is always fun in action games when you switch an enemy's attack to being
What?
for you.
でタイタンもいろいろなんていうか反撃していけるような技とかアビリティがあるんですけれども、やはりアクションゲーム
It just stomps he was just in the air for it, so it didn't fucking matter.
敵の技を自分のものにしてそこを後期に変えるっていうのがとても快感で
Just like precision dodge, precision counter.
Yeah, he just being in spots where like the mechanics don't fucking matter to him.
で、ウィルゲージを結構多めに削るっていう感じですね。
So yes, when his will gauge was down
Jesus Christ!
deadly embrace
God damn.
今のは魔法攻撃を
Okay,
手につな
I'm
ぐ
gonna skip ahead a little bit.
肉だけだとなかなか難しいです。
And again, it's that level difference right there. He's got that 15 levels. Also, he's only wearing level 30 gear, so his gear.
Hello, Cam. Welcome in.
Hi.
Oh, and I just realized the level difference here too. God damn.
Watching a game dev just destroy this FF16 boss.
The game dev is from
このように
which.
I don't know, because when I looked at the title,
okay.
I think it's from the game, so.
Oh, okay.
But maybe they're. I don't know. Oh,
Oh, you took damage there. Okay.
he did.
Jesus Christ.
I love when you have to internally keep in mind all of your abilities and if there are
Yeah, it's just-
when you eventually
I will say there are a shit ton of abilities in this game that you can cycle through. Like you have to actively remember to cycle through.
Seems like it from what parts I've seen of folks playing.
Skip ahead a little bit. Yeah, he's almost dead. Got about like 30 seconds left on this
Long
now.
fight, but I guess because
He's
like the
stunned.
level difference.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like the dev's level 30 compared to a level 45.
So yeah, when you stagger, when you use limit break, your attack power goes up. So using it when you staggered will give you that extra damage.
I haven't unlocked some of these things yet. He's done. Yeah. So
Wild.
and I guess like one note on the whole, there's so many different mechanics on like 16 here. It's like you're cycling through all the different powers that you essentially unlock as you go along, and they all have their kind of like big hits to them, assuming you unlocked them at that point. And I don't know if this is becoming more of a thing or if it's always been a thing of, I feel like the advancement of those kind of mechanics is more prevalent now in games than it used to be. Because like with Hogwarts, it was another thing where you had to prep your pack, like your pad of spells that are
Like a loadout?
yeah,
Of sorts?
basically.
Okay.
And you had to cycle through them, so you have to essentially like memorize, okay, how many triggers do I have to hit before I get to the right pad, if it's more of my like offense spells or like movements versus like defense. So with that, it helped me to some extent understand how to like navigate Final Fantasy 16. But I don't know if that's just because like I was not playing nearly as many games prior to probably like the past 2 years, honestly. And it's just a new mechanic I'm getting used to, or if it's actually truly a new mechanic that games are like moving towards.
Some are definitely super busy, especially I think games like maybe like Metal Gear or Devil May Cry kind of stuff, where it's like there's a lot of mechanics and they keep adding on mechanics. So it's like maybe when you're 80% through the game, it's like, oh, you have like 15 different mechanics that, you know, maybe we taught you one like hour in, but it's still a relevant mechanic.
But like
You just have to like remember.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think as far as like loadout kind of stuff, one thing I'm kind of partial to that a loadout style gameplay that I do kind of really enjoy is like League of Legends, like the format of it, where you have like basically 4 abilities, maybe an ultimate ability, and then you can kind of augment those kind of abilities or things like that. But it's still like 4 things in an ultimate, and that's what you have to worry about. I do enjoy like that. That's a nice middle ground.
Yeah. I guess the difference that I'm noticing more of, like, because you said Devil May Cry, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but you're doing like XXY or a triangle square or something like that, some combo that gets you to that particular move you're wanting to have, versus to me it seems like some of these newer titles are moving towards like loadouts basically, as opposed to you only do the combos. I think like Mortal Kombat, for instance, they're still sticking to a lot of those combos, right? But like these other games, like you see with Final Fantasy, I'm hitting left trigger to give me a different loadout based on the power that I'm trying to access. Do I want fire? Do I want power? Do I want lightning? You know, things like that. And so I feel like the loadouts are coming to controllers more than they have before. And that's where I'm like, it's probably just a me observation, and it's been like that for like ever, but I'm noticing it more in these like titles that I've been playing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Like they still have the combo mix that you could do, but it almost feels like this loadout piece is becoming more prevalent.
Yeah, that's gonna increase like skill ceilings, and I think ultimately just barriers to entries on games if a lot start to kind of pivot to that direction.
Yeah.
Because if it's overly complex, then there's a part where it's not enjoyable.
Yeah. And to me, honestly, I kind of like the loadout better than trying to memorize combos. It's easier for me to do that as opposed to like, oh, I have to hit X 3 times and triangle square or whatever. As opposed to loadout, okay, I just have to click it 2 times and then triangle, whatever. So.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that.
But you have to be, I think the other thing is you have to prepare yourself to like what fits your comfort, I guess. If that makes sense. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Well. Interesting topic. I don't think we had that like fully planned to the extent that we went out on, but
it went a lot of places, which is always fun.
Yeah. What do you think we should move on to next? Because we talked about Unity. That was literally our first hour 20 at this point.
It's a bit of a pivot, but did you have an Ask Me Anything? Or not?
Ask me anything?
Or am I the asshole? That's what it was. Sorry.
Oh, I haven't chosen one yet. Yeah, but there's definitely quite a few.
Because I know we had like another larger topic, but I don't want to shift straight into that.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for not wanting to pay for my sister's dream wedding when she excluded me from her life for years?
I would say no.
I know, that's what. How long is this one?
I feel like no.
It's not that long. I would think it's a no-brainer, but could be wrong. Am I the asshole for telling my overly sheltered niece that Santa isn't real?
Maybe.
All right, let's go.
Maybe.
Let's go. Oh
maybe.
Shit, this one's actually kind of long. Okay.
But maybe not.
Okay, chat, here we go. We got Am I the asshole? Let me zoom in a little bit more for you guys. There we go. Get out of here. Okay. All right, it's a little bit of reading, so bear with us. Am I the asshole for telling my overly sheltered niece that Santa isn't real? My sister, Ray, female, 42, was trying to have a kid for a long time but struggled with infertility. After years of trying and money spent on fertility clinics, she finally had a miracle baby, Sue, who's 12. Since Ray and her husband view Sue's existence as a miracle, they treat her as one. Okay. So we're setting the stage for this. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
From the time she could vocalize her wants, she got everything she wanted. As a result, she's kind of a nightmare. Whenever I could imagine, and it sounds like she's an only child on top of that. Whenever our family gets together, we have to do whatever she wants. We have to eat whatever she wants to eat, watch whatever movies she wants to watch, and we can't do anything outside, even though the rest of the family loves the outdoors. Because Sue hates nature and will literally scream if she gets so much as a speck of dirt on her shoe. We had to stop doing Christmas together because she would throw tantrums if my kids got something she wanted. Okay.
Wow, wait. I'm gonna pause and call it early and say that the author is just being spiteful and that the family at large needs to talk to the parents. But
okay.
That's my early judgment call.
Early observations. Okay. All right, let's carry on. I keep telling Ray that she is only setting Sue up for failure by spoiling her. Sue has no friends at her school because she doesn't understand that other kids aren't going to give her whatever she wants because they don't see her as a miracle the way her parents do. She also has a bunch of mannerisms that other kids that age grew out of years ago. She still picks her nose in public. She still whines and whimpers when things don't go her way. She still shops at Justice and still believes in Santa and the Easter Bunny. Ray won't listen to me and says I should let kids be kids, ignoring the fact that Sue will be a teenager soon. Okay, she's 12 still. So,
Yeah.
reiterating that. Any thoughts? Or are you good with the next one?
Nope.
Okay.
All my stuff still tracks.
Okay. Last weekend, we were all gathered at my parents' house, and Sue was writing a letter to Santa like she did every year. Of course, it was pages and pages long with a list of the most outrageous things a 12-year-old could think of. I wasn't planning on saying anything. I never do. But one day, while Ray was away, Sue and my son, who's 9, came running to me. Sue clearly had been crying, and Finn looked rather smug. They both asked me if Santa was real. I guarantee Finn knows Santa's not real in this case.
Yeah.
Normally, Sue would never ask me to resolve issues, but her parents weren't around, and I wasn't going to coddle her the way her parents did. I said Santa wasn't real. All right, last paragraph. Thoughts? Or you want to hold them?
I'll hold them.
Okay. All right, last paragraph. All right. The minute Ray got home, Sue ran to her, crying and screaming that I told her that Santa wasn't real. Ray tried to calm her down and told her of course Santa was real and that I was lying. When Ray put Sue down for a nap, yes, you read that right, she scolded me. Again, she's 12.
Oof.
She said I had no business trying to parent her child. I then told her that she wasn't parenting her child, so someone had to.
Oof.
Maybe the first step to self-awareness for her is learning Santa isn't real. I was hoping Ray would wake up and see the reality of the situation, but now she's just ignoring my texts and my phone calls. When I told my husband about everything, he wasn't as supportive as I thought he would be. He agrees Sue is unbearable, but it's not my place to fix that, and what I did probably did more harm than good. Should I have just said Santa was real and not gotten involved in this situation?
So, saying Santa is real is still being involved, is being compliant with the situation. It's not getting involved. You're getting involved. You're being compliant. Because if you sit there and you tell Sue that Santa is real, and you say that in front of your kid who knows it's not true, right? Like there's you're being compliant.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes that kind of messy, is that you have a kid that knows it's your kid, and then you have Sue and that whole situation, and you have both of them, right?
Yeah.
So my initial thing of like the author is maybe not being as I think to a touch, spiteful, right? Kind of just fucking done the whole Sue situation.
Yeah.
Like this kid needs to stop being coddled, get a wake up call, start getting on board with like the real world at some point, because the way that she's being treated is very unrealistic and hopefully not helpful for her development as like into like teenage years and
adolescence.
adulthood.
Yeah, all that. Yeah.
So. But it's not your kid, and it's not your place to decide how the kid's to be raised. And you can disagree, and you can both disagree with how Sue's being raised, and you can be right.
Yeah.
And you can not saying the person's not right, but it's not your place.
Yeah.
Which is why like you gotta start with the parents first in the situation, and that's why like that should have been an intervention of the parents, and not just a kind of like passing, like, you know what, fuck it, Santa isn't real, Sue.
Yeah.
Cry about it.
Yeah, because I mean, clearly something happened to where the like kids had to go to Ray for the like the clarification, or like to bring up the question, is Santa real? Because I guarantee it was likely a conversation. Someone brought up Santa, and Ben, the boy, already like knows he's not real. But like to your point, I think she's the asshole in this situation. I do think she's an asshole in this situation, because it wasn't her place to break that news, if you will. If it had happened on accident, like that's a different thing. But in this situation, like, they point blank ask, is Santa not real? I think she could have handled it better in saying, like tiptoeing around the question and putting it back on the parents to say, like, what it is. And in terms of, like, oh, Santa's spirit's real, or some kind of, like, fluffy comment to get past that situation, without being the one that just flat out says, Santa's not real, I'm crushing your hopes and dreams in this moment. You know? Because there is a little bit of that. And it's like, yeah, Sue sounds like she is a pain in the ass, sure. But, like, it's one of those, like, a wake-up call will happen, but that doesn't mean you should be the wake-up call.
True. Yeah. 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 So, totally, definitely agree.
So. Yeah.
Wild. Yeah.
It is. That was a good one, though. That was a good one.
I had a cousin that was very much like Sue, probably not as coddled, but like around that age, definitely had very similar kind of phase. Where, like, everyone needs to cater to her, and the parents are like, no, everyone needs to cater to her, and we're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
This is awful. So, and terrible, and she's such a brat about it. So, and a menace. So she 100% grew out of that. 100%. But yeah, she definitely had that phase. And kids have like a lot of phase because they're developing. Like, their brain growing.
Yeah.
Synapses are forming. Like, it's it's a process.
It is. And I mean, yeah,
Can people develop until they're like mentally? I've heard 25. I don't know if that's the right metric that I'm thinking of.
I think it's different for each.
I think male and female is different, right?
Yeah.
I think
fully develop. Oops.
I think females, I want to say, like, faster, but not
mid to late 20s.
Finished until later.
Let's see. The brain finishes in developing and maturing in the mid to late 20s. The part of the brain behind the forehead, meaning the called the prefrontal cortex, is one of the last parts to mature.
Yeah.
I know, Chad, I'm not sharing this at the moment. It's fine. We're just kind of skimming through this real quick. Brain development is related to social experiences during adolescence. Makes sense. Teen brain is ready to learn and adapt. Responds differently to stress. Teens don't get enough sleep. Imagine that.
I also heard part of, like, so they say, like, teens don't get enough sleep, but I've also kind of heard that, like, in general, like, teens, there's like a shift hormonally. Shocking.
Yeah.
And part of that is, like, part of that shift and process is that their body, in a general sense, changes to where it needs to stay up late. So, like, they shift to where they have to be, like, night people, more or less. Which, you know, isn't super compliant with society.
Yeah.
But would then track for a result of they don't get enough sleep.
True. Did I get enough? No, I guess I was working a lot in my mid-teens. And I was always wanting to, like, be out doing things versus trying to, like, go to bed at a decent time.
Yeah. Same. Staying up late all the time. 3 a.m. That's maybe bedtime.
Yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, especially on the weekends, honestly, Thursdays through Sunday, it would be one of those, like, oh, I'm working a wedding type of thing, so I'm not going to be home till midnight or so, depending on how late it goes. Midnight, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And then there towards like senior year, it was like, oh, I don't really have a curfew anymore, so whatever. Because like after working something like that, I don't want to just like go home and go to sleep. I need to like unwind.
Yeah.
I'm still like buzzing around and everything, so yeah.
And even the notion of like at times staying awake and doing stuff until like the sun comes up and then going to bed doesn't seem like a wild concept during those years.
Exactly.
Probably not an every night occurrence.
No, but yeah.
It doesn't feel unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
Night people.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know that I'm a night person or a morning person. I think if I'm more of something, it's going to be a night person. But even then, I'm not trying to consistently stay up till 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I'm just like early bird or night owl. No, I'm just an exhausted pigeon. That's what I am.
That's
like,
good.
Yeah, just leave me as that.
We are getting closer to Christmas season, so
I know. I already have so there's a couple of like indie games of Krampus. And like it's scary Krampus. So I'm like, okay, this is on brand.
Nice.
So I will be playing through those stupid little games. They're like $5 to $10. They're always on sale kind of thing. I just need to like buy them, but I haven't needed to yet because they're always on sale. But it's stupid little games like that. Yeah.
I was also trying to troll you of recognizing Christmas before Halloween.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. Hello, Timmy. Welcome in.
Hi,
Thank you
Timmy.
for contributing. I hope your Sunday's going well. All you guys are contributing to this. It's gonna be madness.
My Sundays are pretty good because I get to hang out with you, but also.
Thanks.
But wait, no. I paid compliment. I gave my. Wait, not what's the right word? Sacrifice isn't the right word.
No.
Homage isn't the right word.
No.
What's the right word? Offering? Offering of kind words? Offering of kind words. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Thank you for collabing with me. I know we're not done, but I was saying it.
We're not.
No, we're not done. But I'm saying, I mean, let me now. Shit.
Yeah, like, well, on that note, Vargas just fucked that up. No, I'm just kidding.
But I found the show that I've been trying to find.
Oh yeah, because you were like this morning, hey, I'm gonna watch one more episode and then we can get our shit together.
Yeah, I'm binging the shit out of that show because I'm finally here with it. I've nerded out to you about this show in the past. So man, yeah, because I was nerding about the Netflix movie.
Yeah, the movie. Yeah.
And it, like retconned some stuff, and the animation was like insanely high tier. It was like really good tier animation. It was like, and it was a musical. It was like, and now I can watch season 5, and I'm like, I'm loving season 5. It's so good. I love how the villain is like a low key, in the proper way to use that term. He's just a wizard at this point.
Okay. He's wizard, Harry.
He's a modern day man that's just become a sorcerer.
Okay.
And how does that happen? The way all modern day men become sorcerers. Archaeology.
Oh, okay.
You dig that magic up. And at this age he just has Grimorums, and he has just the little magic creatures, and he knows how the system works, and he is using all kinds of spells and shit, and it's fucking. I'm like, bro, you're a wizard now. You're a wizard, and it's crazy. He also has a thing where his premier base power, because season 5 sees a lot at this point, but his base power is he'll find an inhabitant who's having a negative emotion, and it can be that broad, and then he will, I guess, like corrupt them.
He like exploits it, right?
Yeah, he turns them into like a super powered villain, to his own means. And now at this age, he has like all these powers, one of his powers is teleportation.
Okay.
Like he can open portals
Mhm.
to anywhere he wants.
Mhm.
And so now by default, he combines his base power of the little butterfly that demons up people,
Okay.
and his teleportation.
Demons
Because
up
he
people.
had a few problems in the past where he would find somebody with negative emotions,
Mhm.
make the evil butterfly to possess them. But by the time the butterfly got there, like they were gone or they just like got over it. And then he's like, well, shit, now what do I do with my day? God damn, this is a problem. So he solved that problem by like combining it with his teleportation power,
Uh-huh.
where he opens a portal from where he's at to where they are, and the butterfly just like
And
goes
it's
through
instant.
to. Yes,
Okay.
yes. But there's been a few because he lives in this big mansion, and there's been a few instances where, like people in his household were the people that were like going through it, right?
Okay.
And so he makes a butterfly, and then he's like, open a portal. I'm like, bro, they're downstairs.
Just walk.
Yeah, buddy, they're downstairs. Why do you need a portal for this shit?
God.
He's downstairs. Why?
Welcome in,
Why?
Ash. Thank you for the
Crazy.
daily hug.
I love that show so much.
So are you like halfway through the season already?
No, I'm a third.
Oh, okay.
There's 27 episodes. Thank
Oh,
God.
all right. You got some. I say you got some time,
I'm
but you're
episode
probably
10.
picking this up right after.
I'm episode
just,
10,
like,
maybe.
In the
I
face. There you
might.
go.
I'll make some lunch.
I know. I'll have to make lunch here in a little bit before the gym.
In
And
my
Timmy, thank you for the
Chipotle-style
lurking. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Trying to think. I'm not really watch. Am I watching anything else? Let me think. We talked about
Did you-
Monster.
mhm. Did y'all start Oceano?
D's watching it. I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's been like talking through the episodes with me.
Got it. Because the first one's long.
Yeah. And at first I was like, "Oh, this is the one Barkus recommended." He was like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "Isn't the episode like an hour and a half long?" And he was like, "No, it was only 20 minutes." And he goes and looks at it. He's like, "Oh, fudge! It's an hour and 22 minutes. Never mind. Yes, this is it."
Yep.
I'm like,
Treat
"I
it
thought so."
Treat it like the movie it is.
Yeah.
That's also really good. I'm ready for more of that because, like, at the end of it, they set up the next arc.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so the drama. It's a good drama show. The drama of that next arc. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait.
Interesting.
Let all the actions at play kind of go forth, and just, a lot of personalities is about to clash. I'm ready to see it.
Yeah, no, I think Spy Family comes back in October, so next month. That's exciting. There's a couple of other ones, like Burn the Witch.
Oh,
Have
I
you
don't
heard
know.
of that one?
Nope.
Evidently they have a 3-episode teaser out. Jay
Oh.
was talking to, like, Jay and I were kind of talking about it in Discord yesterday, or last night, and the trailer's there. It looks appealing enough to at least like scope it out, like try it out, see
Is it
see
like
these couple
live
of episodes.
action or anime?
No, it's
or-
anime.
Huh.
It's set, I think, in the UK.
Huh.
Jay was kind
go ahead.
of saying it's like a parallel to Bleach in some sense, but it's like witches and dragons instead.
Huh.
Yeah.
I might check out the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of huns on it, so I might
Yeah,
watch the
yeah.
trailer. You know what is coming out that will be all the rage and everyone should watch.
What? I'm gonna regret asking what.
because of the setup, I almost want to say my Dragon Quest streams. but
Oh.
No. The actual answer is that Castlevania series, the animated one.
Oh yeah, the spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that comes out. I have it on my calendar. Comes
Sometime
out
this month, right?
sometime this month, like late this month.
Yeah.
The 28th.
Yeah.
The 28th
Okay.
is when that comes out. I think. Yeah, the same day as Dragon Quest.
Well, I guess that's gonna be on the back burner for a little bit.
Well, I'm streaming Dragon Quest, so
Yeah. Well,
And I'm also-
I meant Castlevania.
yeah. I'm also part of like a weekly watch party, so I'm gonna nominate that for like the watch party.
Oh, okay. Oh
I
yeah.
feel like that'll be a hint. Or hit.
Ren's doing a watch party for One Piece, the live action. I think that starts next weekend. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm interested. I'm probably gonna
Only
hop
heard
in on
good
that.
things.
Yeah. And like they're trying to do 12 seasons. Like if they have the budget,
wow.
the renewal, all of that, they want to do 12 seasons.
Huh.
Yeah. I'm like, so they're still gonna be behind by the time 12 seasons rolls around.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if they just like have a set endpoint. And
Yeah.
I wonder if they also have like. I wonder if there's like a certain arc that they'll hit where they're like,
Mhm.
this would be really, really difficult to do live action.
Yeah. I don't know. They're already gearing up. They want to get season 2 out in the next 12 to 18 months. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Well,
It could be doable. I don't know.
we'll see what they do. I've shockingly heard nothing but positive things.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
I had that little what's that? That little cosplay
Yeah.
Richard Horvitz thing.
Expand this real quick. Switch over. Okay. So this is supposed to be Hell of a Boss, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That is very low. Hold on.
Yeah.
Turn that up.
Prettiest girl at my school, and all the boys want me. My favorite color is hot pink, because normal pink is so basic.
Thank you very much.
Aww. Cute.
That was really cute. Yeah. Yeah. So that's Richard Horvitz, and he voices Moxie
Yeah.
in Hell of a Boss.
And then he's also
He's also, yeah, in
I didn't know
Vader
that.
Zim,
Zim,
and
yeah.
Billy. And Billy from Billy and Mandy.
huh.
Yeah.
And then the Angry Beavers.
Yep.
And then Power Rangers.
Yeah. I couldn't remember his name is Alpha 5. I want to say it's Alpha 5.
I think. I'm not sure.
Something like that. It's
Think
Alpha
so.
something.
Yeah. Psychonauts, right?
Yeah. And then one
I
of the Ben
don't-
10 characters. I don't know the
Yeah,
rest.
I don't know these other
Uh,
guys.
Yeah, no idea.
Oh. Yeah.
Very, very prolific voice actor.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, that's
another
interesting.
super huge big one is Tara Strong. She does an insane amount of voices. Like a lot.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. Nope, that's not what I wanted.
oh,
I just want the photo. Give me the photo.
Ember.
Yeah, Bubbles. Timmy. Wow. Yeah. Of course, Harley Quinn. I don't know that those would be. There's not many voice actors I would like stand in line for
Mm-hmm.
to get their autographs.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
more
fair.
so like artists, actors, yeah. But
Any like streamer or any like streamers or content creators?
so I still need to collect them all, but of course like Trash Taste.
Mm.
I have Joey's. Like my goal so I have Joey's and then Trash Taste, so all of their signatures, but I want individuals of each of them too, because like they're standalone creators as well. But I have Joey's. I missed out on Connor's, and then I don't think Giga has really done one on his own yet. And then I think Charlie's would be nice to have too. I think that's it for right now. We have Mouse. So yeah, there's like a handful for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. But not too many. And I kind of, the way I have it set up, I'd really like to get anyone that I have like their artwork done, or they've signed, like kind of like Joey's, his is framed right now, just kind of like on the wall that you guys can't see, but I stare at. The wall bot like in front of me, where it's just like all the people that I care to, like, that I've been watching before starting all of this, and then ideally getting at some point like the bingies. I think that would be cool. But yeah, I think those are kind of my early plans for fun little signatures here and
I'd be
there.
willing to give you my autograph.
But you got to do it as your
Marcus?
marshmallow.
Oh, okay. Oh man, paw prints totally gotta be part of the signature, doesn't it?
I mean, it would be cute, but no,
Yeah.
you of course just
Okay.
Barkus. That's fine.
Well, the name Barkus and then like a paw print underneath it.
Oh, that would be cute. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
see.
what I
Okay.
meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
like full. Yeah. I wouldn't mind meeting it's a new group, but not really. It's a newly formed group, but they've been not VTuber. It's a VTuber group of 4 people. It's like AI Candy, Rosendoodle, Buff Pup, and Shy
Buff
Bun.
Pup. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they recently formed a group called VTuber, but they've been like a friend group known as the Family for a few years now.
Yeah. I think it's really cool that for VTubers to actually like portray themselves at signings or like meet and greets, technology's gotten to the point where it can be facilitated. So like Mouse, for instance, there's no way in hell she's able to travel, right? But
Yeah.
now like she's able to interact with fans and things like that virtually, and it actually works pretty dang well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I also saw of that and kind of a 180 pivot of that very point. I think like Fruit did like an Apex character cosplay. You know, like some place for it.
Huh.
Yeah. It looked really good. I don't know if it was like a contest or if she won something or not, but I'm pretty sure that was Fruit too. So that was really cool and fun to see. Yeah, I think definitely in the VTuber space, it's still a lot more super comfy just showing IRL them, things like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's like the ultimate goal, but that's a shift. Because I think there's still a large handful of, they're there for the anonymity of it.
Yeah.
But like not being seen in the first place. So some like that's the reason why they're there. And I think others maybe started out that way, but then just got to like a comfort level where there's like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
So
I think Nan has gotten a little more comfortable with that.
yeah, I'd say Ethel's probably a huge influence upon that.
Yeah. Because I know she's had, I guess, like face reveal leaks before. But now it's kind of like her own accord, and she's not with VShojo anymore and things like that. Not saying that had influence on it, but I think maybe there's less pressure to feel like she has to stay behind the camera, like behind the model. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I've not seen too much of her content recently, so
That's true.
I'll check every now and then.
Yeah.
But I do know, yeah, I think she had like a video on YouTube of her, and like she was cosplaying like herself. So it was like a just IRL, but just again cosplaying herself. So Yeah, she does seem a lot more confident.
Yeah.
I remember like her Ethel, and we're at a convention with Tectone,
Mhm.
and Tectone's a pretty wild guy.
Yeah.
Tectone's very loud and has a lot to say. So he feels himself and he vibes with himself. So good for him.
Yeah, good on him, I guess.
He's also pretty based where he's like, so he does, I think a lot of his big stuff is like Genshin Impact.
Okay.
And nowadays I think both Genshin and like Honkai Star Rail.
Natural segue.
Yeah, and he had a the Genshin community can be bad.
Can it?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Like they'll really, so I guess an example, in Genshin you explore like the world, and there's 7 nations, and each nation is based off of a IRL country. So I think that they have like Germany, China, Japan, I want to say Egypt, and now France.
Okay.
And there were these characters and things like that. Like it's a gacha game, so like
Yeah.
some characters.
Yep.
And one thing that like, so an example, you know, the Genshin community was like, oh, well, this character, if they're from here, shouldn't be the skin color, and then they'll like Photoshop in like, there, we fix it for Genshin, so Genshin should just use this like skin color variant of the character instead.
Oh my god.
And then like campaign super hard for it.
Oh no.
An example.
Oh no.
There are a lot more, but that's an example. So the Genshin community can be pretty bad, and Tectone does a lot of Hoyoverse, which is the parent company of Hoyoverse content. But he has said, he's like, I am not a like Genshin Impact content creator, despite like again a lot of what he
I
releases.
play it, yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, I really just don't want to be that associated with the Genshin community. And I'm like, bro, I understand.
Fair.
Based. Because like, I'll sometimes I used to stream Genshin for a good while.
Yeah.
And not everyone in the Genshin community is awful, but I
Right.
think the minority that is really bad is so vocal. It is, you know, often the case.
They're the ones that
But-
scream the loudest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even man, I had a weird experience because I was streaming Honkai a week or so ago, and I'm always like, I'm always hesitant meeting like really like hardcore Genshin or Hoyoverse fans, just, you know, because of the examples I've you know,
Yeah.
yada yada.
Yeah.
So like they came in, so I was streaming it, someone came in and they saw like I was doing this roguelike mechanic, and they're like, man, you have like some like whale level damage, which just means like I like implies like a whale to come in. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like, oh well, I'm doing simulated universe, which like radically changes your damage values. And they're like, oh yeah, that's true. And so they're asking me like a couple of questions, and they're like, oh, so is this your and like they came in and they followed and started the conversation.
Okay.
And like they're like, oh, so is this your main account? Because I told them like I was having like kind of a troll husbando account, just getting all these husbando characters.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, is this your main account? I'm like, nope, this is my only account. And then they like unfollowed and left. And I'm like, that's weird. All right. It wasn't like, it was just a weird interaction, and you can easily have like just weird interactions with. Yeah. I don't understand like why that. I don't know. I don't get it, and honestly, I don't care.
That's fair, but it's just like,
It was strange.
yeah.
It wasn't negative. It wasn't necessarily It was strange. It was on the strange side.
Yeah.
And I just chucked it up to like more of just Hoyoverse community stuff, and I was like, all right. So I don't stream it too often, because it's not like a crowd I want to really cater to for the most part. I enjoy it, so that's an off-stream game for me, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's with that, it almost you have those certain franchises, and obviously like these are newer ones, right? But like you have these certain franchises that like you either know the community is a certain way or like they carry themselves a certain way that it's like you are almost hesitant to say like, yep, I play this game, or yep, I read this, or yep, I like enjoy this, like this whatever, because of like the potential I guess stigma that comes with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I know, like I super enjoy Steven Universe, but like Steven Universe community can get a bad rap. So that like that's another kind of similar example.
Yeah.
But I like the show, but doesn't mean that I'm like super active in the community, or if the community's like, I wouldn't even know where that looks like. Yeah, right. Because like there's been a lot of IPs that I enjoy it seems different to just enjoy the IP and then to be active in the community around the IP.
Yeah, like I think going back to like I enjoy DC, I enjoy my villains, I enjoy Joker, things like that, but like am I going to sit here and say I know all of his lore and like know every single like version of the Joker that ever existed and like the lore behind each of those and then the like fan theories behind that? No. So like and on the flip side, I know people do know a lot more, and it's one of those like, no man, I enjoy the aesthetic, I enjoy the craziness, like I enjoy a lot of things about the character, and like why I enjoy the character or why I enjoy like it doesn't even like not even Joker, it could be something else, but like why I enjoy these things, but I'm not going to give a dissertation to defend like why I like something. And like I feel like sometimes when you meet those individuals that are very much like they live and breathe that IP, that it's almost like, no, you are a fake, you don't belong in this like community almost to some extent because you do not like bleed the same blood of this IP.
Yes. Yeah. Man, that subdivides, so super agree. And that subdivides into two ways. Like one, the thing of like I'll enjoy an IP, but I wouldn't say like I'm part of the community because it seems like a different thing.
Yeah.
Within that, it's like I don't even know what that means to be part of the community. Like,
oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah. It
seems like such a nebulous kind of idea that it's like is posting on a few. So an example, so like Hoyoverse has a Hoyoverse website, and you can have a Hoyoverse, and you have a Hoyoverse account, and they have like forums. So if I post on the forums, am I once or twice? Am I part of the community? If I don't know. Like, at what point are you? And it doesn't seem. I guess like the minimum requirement, I guess, is maybe different for community to community. But also, I think in the terms of like community itself, it wouldn't have to have those minimum requirements because there's so many people that are in that space for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know? Sorry, I'm gathering thought. It's so,
you're good. You're good.
But like, what does it mean? Like, what does it mean to be part of an IP community? I think is definitely like a question that I can't answer.
Yeah.
If I just tweet out about it a lot, right? So like maybe so.
Like, is it one of those, if you were to have a trivia night, like, could you, like, stand on your own 2 feet? Like, is it to that extent? Like, your knowledge of the IP, I think, has obviously some point to it. But like, if you're a hardcore individual that is, I don't even know how to define it.
It's hard. I'm
Because like I feel like
too.
you gotta have knowledge of it. You have to have. I feel like you have to have extensive knowledge about it.
But
And
I've seen some that like, so like those that like require or feel like you have to have extensive knowledge of the topic to be considered like a fan
Mhm.
or part of the community.
Mhm.
Like those people equally can just be viewed as like elitist, right?
Yeah,
So
right.
I feel you could have like hyper niche knowledge about the IP
Mhm.
and be part of the community and be vocal. I think alternatively, maybe you just like watch or enjoy the IP like 6 hours a day, but you're not like super knowledgeable about it.
Yeah.
I would still say you're maybe part of the community. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find. It's so hard to find a definition because it also depends on like, I guess the IP and like the media that it's presented in.
Yeah, because then it like how extensive is that IP? Like, do you have to know like if it's comics related or specific character related? Like, do you have to know every freaking rendition of heaven forbid you have multiverse to go through? Like, do you have to know all of that too? Or is it just the like OG character? Like, I think that definitely expands it.
And the other thing that also massively sticks out to me.
Mhm.
So you're using Joker as an example.
Yeah.
So you can have the comics and have the merch and just really enjoy the character or the IP in general.
Mhm.
But maybe not know like in issue 14 of this series, like on this panel, like there is this kind
You're
of like
quoting the
coloring
Bible,
instance.
basically.
Yeah. So in certain IPs, like I've met folks that like have that depth of knowledge on like said topic,
Same. Yep.
and I've not had that depth of knowledge, and there will be friction and it's kind of inconsistency where like if we just want to stick with like the Joker for the example,
Yeah.
one thing that is fun and neat and cool about the Joker and Batman, from my understanding, for the most part, is that they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Where like they both had one really bad day.
Mhm.
Right? Like Batman had a
That
really bad day.
defined the
and it
rest
made him
of their
bad.
life. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so you can like that's the theme and the concept presented with those characters.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's fun and engaging and you can have a conversation around that.
Yeah.
And then I've met people that get really lost in the data and kind of miss that point where they want to like, you know, recite the data or the comics and be like, well, you know, this conceptual thing that you're talking about
Yeah.
is null and void because in issue 17 this was said.
Yeah. And I like when I meet those individuals, and it's a mixed bag because you have some that are like they're so passionate about like that character IP whatever that they just want to talk about it, and they don't care if like you know very little, you know a bit, you know the same, whatever. They just want to talk about it because like they enjoy that content or yeah, content. And like they're really nice about it, and like I can there's a couple of people that like come to mind with that. They're very approachable with it. So like it's a comfort level of I can ask them these questions like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Tell me more." Or like, "Oh, so my understanding was this, is that not the case?" Those kind of things. And then you have on the other side of the spectrum, you have the ones that are like back to your like elitist comment of, "Oh, you don't know this? Oh, you poor peasant," kind of mentality. I shouldn't like, why am I wasting my time on you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like their knowledge gives them a kind of like fake status.
Yeah.
So, and that just seems more like their life is kind of out of sorts than anything, and that they're kind of like using all this hyper knowledge to I guess just feel better or propped up
Mhm.
in some sense, right?
Yeah,
So-
as we say in the streamer space, go touch some grass.
Yes. And there's also the same kind of folks, 'cause like some are super knowledgeable and,
Yeah.
and fun and approachable and just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And some are like super knowledgeable and they have like a mission to veer people to the in quote their correct path of how to enjoy the media or know about it.
Yeah, and
It's like,
it's a turn
oh,
off to the IP.
yeah, it's like, oh, if you like this, then you have to do these things and you have to watch this and you have to agree with these certain points,
Yeah.
or you're wrong.
Or like you know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Yeah,
Kind of
it's
thing.
kind of there's like a joke around. I mean, people joke around it nowadays because it was fucking happened.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the same thing of if like a girl wears a Nirvana t-shirt and they're like, oh, you like Nirvana? Can you name 3 of their songs? It's like, bro, fuck off.
I hate it. It's like
It's the same. It's the same kind of shit,
it's
right?
the same kind of shit. It's absolutely the same kind of shit.
100, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I've heard so many stories of like girls that work at GameStop and customers just think that they don't know anything because they're a girl. And what do girls know about games?
I feel, I don't know if we were talking about this before, but like Jay mentioned like all I would hire are like girls at GameStop because like yeah, they actually know what they're talking about in a lot of ways. So yeah.
Right?
I
Yeah,
think-
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. But
So-
yeah, it's not unheard of. Yeah.
The meta conversation of like I don't know what it means to be really part of a community. I think a fair thing that we could probably quantify that would be beneficial in my life because like and it is a bit different because like I do gathering thoughts. It's a very
You're good,
tricky
you're good.
topic. Dead by Daylight, right?
Uh-huh.
In the Dead by Daylight community, like that's something that I feel that I wouldn't mind saying I'm a part of or actively being a part of. It's different for me since like I'm a content creator, right? So
Yeah.
not everybody in the community is, and that's fine. Absolutely.
Mhm.
There's a I don't remember who all was with me, but we did a match and it was Midwich and it was a Scratch Mirror Myers. And he jump scared the shit out of us. He was so good. We got the crap scared out of us. Like, because you would turn the corner into a classroom and he would just be standing right there.
Oh,
and he
no.
would just jump and freak out. And oh man, it was a fun match. And I remember we asked Post, we are like, man, that was like really good. Do you do it for like a video or do you stream or anything? He's like, no, I just like the game. And we're like, yo, valid, like
Yeah.
like, valid, good job. You did a great fucking job. That was really fun and great. It had nothing to do about content creation. He just liked doing that. He just liked jump scaring people. I'm like, bro, you did it. Mission accomplished. But yeah, so like if you want to call it like just being in the the DVD community, it's like sure, like playing the game, but you can also like for me personally, I can make videos. I could like tweet out about it. I know there's folks that do tweet out about it and like just talk. Like there's a lot of discussion around Skull Merchant.
Yeah, Bingy Chat was going crazy the other day over that. And like for me, that's where I kind of like draw the line in terms of I haven't played long enough to like form an opinion on how a certain killer is broken or a perk is broken or whatever. Because I'm still learning what these perks mean at the end of the day. So like to me, I feel like that's kind of a threshold in order to say like you are a part of the DBD community, for example, because like to your point, there's a lot of talk around Skull Merchant right now of, from what I understand, things being revamped or changing about that particular character and the perks behind it and their mechanics and all that. But like I can't sit here and be like, oh yeah, I totally understand that. No, No, I don't.
Mm.
You know, I'll learn on the side for sure, but it's just gonna come with time. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna go head first into the water of this.
I kind of like you saying all that because
Mm-hmm.
it, I think, really quantified for me. I feel like you're part of the community if you identify yourself as part of the community,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of knowledge base or not.
Okay.
Because if you felt like and you wanted to be and say that you're part of the community,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't have the knowledge base today, and then you can say like you're newer to it.
Yeah.
And that's like you're newer to it, but you're part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Totally super valid. And then you have like the opposite side of the scale of like Tectone, where he's very knowledgeable about it, makes a lot of content for it,
Mm-hmm.
but does not want to be part of the community.
Yeah. Because on the flip side, it's like, no, I know what I would be getting into. No, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah. Easy pass. But
Yeah.
I guess because like I was trying to, I was like, what would be like the requirement? What's like the baseline to be in a community of an IP? I feel like it just, if you feel like you are,
Yeah.
right? I think you can be a solo fan, or you can just say you're part of the community.
Yeah. And like some people, some you have that are like closet fans, like you wouldn't even know they were a fan of the IP in general because they only play it offline, or like only people in their close circle know about this, or what have you. So I guess I think there's an element on that too. But
Yeah. So I guess that's that would be my definition if I had to say. Just if you consider yourself part of it or not.
yeah,
Just like people ask me if I'm a furry.
on
I
a
tell them I'm
scale,
not.
on a scale.
On a scale, I'm not.
And I think that's your quantitative evidence, is the fact that like this is a scale and here's where I fall, therefore no, I'm not. On top
But
of like
if I
I'm not
also wanted-
anyways.
If I also just wanted to say that I was one,
Uh-huh.
I feel like that would also be enough. Because I could easily get some art.
Oh yeah, not saying you
Full-
can't.
Oh yeah, a full-on furry Barkus. I think that's an easy thing to achieve.